everyone. Hope you're having a great day. We are getting ready just to do a little intro video for one of the lessons, and we thought this would be the easiest way to do it. So you know me, and this is...
I'm Jamie. I mentor at Norwood and Emerald Avenue, and I'm also the school-based Girl Talk intern for this semester.
Woo-hoo. So we are going to walk through the day in the life of an adult simulation that we're going to do with the elementary girls. So hopefully this will be very helpful for you. Oh, you know what? That's going to be...
So the goal of this simulation is to give the girls a wide variety of careers that they can take in different paths they can go down and give a comparable amount of money for that career, and just so that they can gain experience with managing their own budget.
So this is how the simulation is going to work. Each girl that is going through the simulation will get one of these necklaces, and so we'll put a necklace thing on it, but they'll get this, and so there will be about half the group will have a job, and then the other group will be working the stations, and so there'll be 4 or 5 different stations that the girls will have to visit in the simulation. So for example, we will have the bank. So at the beginning of the simulation, each girl will go and pick what job they want to have, and then they'll go to the bank and they'll get their salary for the simulation. So this is for the fashion designer, and if you're a fashion designer, then you would get $600, and all of these will be pre-made for you. And so what you'll do is they will also get this paper out of their journals, and it just says a day in the life of an adult, and it has the different boxes, and they'll have to work through this paper throughout the simulation. And so there's a part for them to fill out at every station that they go to. So at least 4 or 5 of the girls and mentors will be at a station, and the station options, we have the bank, and then we have the grocery store, because you gotta get those groceries, transportation, housing, and then if there's enough girls or mentors, we also have a personal section too. So even if there's not a personal person to be at the station, they can still fill it out on their budget and subtract that money. So when they go to the station, so say that I need to go pay for my housing, and so there's a couple different options on their budget for housing. For example, there's 2 options. So you can choose to live alone, or you can choose to have a roommate, and so they have to list the pros and cons for each of those, and then once they decide what they want to do, they'll pay whoever is representing housing. So if it's a girl or a mentor, they will pay that person however much it is. So to live alone is $250, but to have a roommate is half the cost. It's $125, just to put it in perspective. And so through the simulation, the simulation will end when all of the girls have visited all of the stations, and when they have filled out all of the boxes on their paper. And so the last thing, it doesn't have to be last, but we want to make sure that they put money into savings, and so there's a whole box that says savings, and they'd have to go back to the bank, put the money in savings, and then see if they have any money left over. They don't have to have money left over, but if they do, there's a little line for it. So
the 2 really important things I want to stress are that this simulation can take more than 1 week. So if you have like a large group of girls, or they don't finish the simulation, or they want to do it again and pick different careers, you should allow them to like do the simulation for 2 weeks, and that's fine. And then if not, there's extra lessons at the end and stuff. And the other really important thing is to remind the girls that they might have to wait in line for like the bank and housing, just because those are stations that everyone has to go to, but that's just like a part of real life. So just make sure to stress that waiting is a normal part of life, and that they just need to wait it out. It's going to be okay.
Yes, that is perfect. So we're just gonna walk through the stations next, so you know. On the back of each paper, so on the back of these stations, I also put the information. So if a girl or mentor doesn't remember what they need to do, they can literally look on the back of the page, and it has the information and the instructions as well. But we'll go through those 2 really quickly.
So the first station is the bank, and so basically they're going to get a personalized bag, and it's going to have fake salary money in it that goes along with their career. And so the banking person will just need to give them the salary depending on their career, And so the bank is like where you should start and end. So you start and get your salary there, and then at the end, we recommended to them that they put 10% of their first salary, of their starting salary, into their savings. So they'll have to go back at the end and do that. And the next station is housing. And at housing, they're going to have to list pros and cons of living with someone versus living without someone, so that they can kind of put it into perspective of like, oh, like it might be more money, but at least like I'll have this or that. And then they have to deduct that from their budget. So each station they go to, they'll have to put their new balance at the end. And so the other station is groceries. And so at the grocery stores, there's two options, the store brand option and the name brand option. So they're going to be able to pick one of those too. And then we also have like a section for money to eat out, and they just get to choose how much money they want to spend to eat out like per month.
Perfect. A couple other ones that we have is transportation, and so again they get to pick what kind of transportation they want to have. So if you ride the bus all the time, it will be $15. There's also, if you have like an older car and you may not be making car payments and your insurance is lower, so that'll be $75. If you have like a brand new car, it's going to be more expensive. And then the last option is Uber, and so they get to pick what they want to do in that, and kind of just think about the pros and cons of those options. And then personal, if you have enough mentors or volunteer or girls, you can have a personal section. But on this one, you will pick what kind of phone you have. So if you have an older phone or if you have a newer phone, there's that. And then personal activities are just fun things that you want to do, and you'll choose how much money you want to allot towards that. And then last but not least, because we want to instill saving at a really early age, they have to fill out the savings part of the budget. And so once they decide how much money they want to put in savings, they will go to the bank and give the banker the money, and then that will be the end. And if they have any money left over, they'll put it on the very bottom line down here, and it'll make sense when you look at the paper and all that good stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it looks like. And then at the end, of course, you'll have some more reflection and discussion times just for them to think about, like, what careers are they interested in doing, and what was it like to have a budget. We've done kind of something similar with the older girls, and they're like, it's really hard to do all this. So It's really interesting. I'm very interested to hear, like, what kind of feedback the girls have. And again, like Jamie said, don't rush it. Like, if you feel like you need 2 weeks to do it, we want to make sure that each girl has the opportunity to have a job. And then if they want to be one of the stations, that they have the opportunity to be one of the stations.